This is QTV News and I am Mamudu Gajaga. We are coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Thank you very much for joining us. Now here are the main news headlines. The Gambia Red Cross Society on Wednesday began rolling out humanitarian aid through Q Money to 606 households of victims of the recent flash floods. As the COVID-19 vaccination campaign continues, officials of the Ministry of Health on Tuesday visited the Jarasoma District Hospital in Mansakonko to assess the progress of the campaign. The Minister of Local Government and Lands and Religious Affairs has presided over the laying of the foundation stones for entrepreneurship and hospitality training centers at Farafenye and Mansakonko. The Managing Director of PURA has called for more collaboration between regulatory bodies for the greater good of the Gambia during the validation of PURA's draft strategic policy plan. Members of the ECOWAS Parliament's Joint Committee are in the Gambia for a delocalized meeting to discuss the challenges and the oversight role of the Parliament to the implementation of a range of issues. Those were the main news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome, and this is QTV News. The Gambia Red Cross Society began rolling out humanitarian aid to 606 households of victims of the recent flash floods on Wednesday, with $6 million worth of funding from the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Society. The cash support is being distributed through Q Money. Omudulamin Choi has the details.
This is a moment of joy and relief for disaster victims. The Gambia Red Cross Society is rolling out a relief package to 606 households to dampen the socio-economic shocks of the recent flash floods. Some of these beneficiaries' houses were completely or partially destroyed or heavily flooded with rainwater. Through cash transfer via Q Money, the victims are receiving food and shelter support from the Gambia Red Cross Society. Abdullah Faye is the head of operations at the Gambia Red Cross Society.
The ones that are only flooded will receive $5,250 for only this month. And that is a target of 356 beneficiaries out of the 606 beneficiaries. And the other category, which is the partially destroyed houses category, which is 143 households that we are supporting, will receive food support for 2 months, and each month they will receive $5,250, and then they will also receive cash for shelter, which is for only 1 month response, that is $7,500. And then the ones who have completely destroyed houses, we are supporting 107 households, and these 107 households, they will also receive food support for 2 months. And as the normal response cost of $5,250 each month, and also $7,500 is for shelter for 2 months.
Preceding this cash distribution exercise to the victims was a needs assessment of the households affected by the flash floods in the country. From this exercise and based on their vulnerability, beneficiaries were identified from the West Coast region, Kanifing Municipality, and the North Bank region. Alpha Jallo and Samacham are grateful and delighted to be among the beneficiaries.
Yes, they do their wonderful job. I'm grateful. I'm very happy for this occasion.
I am very happy today for the Red Cross. This support by the Red Cross is huge. We can't pay them except to express our gratitude. One important and reliable partner for the Gambia Red Cross Society in the distribution of this relief support and similar instances is Q Money, which is a leader in Gambia's mobile money industry. As a concerned partner and in solidarity with windstorm victims last year, Q Money, with support from the Q Group chairman, provided cash transfer services to the Red Cross with zero charges. Aliu Badaranjai is the head of Q Money.
We've worked with them to go through the beneficiary list that they gave us to make sure that everybody can receive their money in a timely manner, in a secure manner, And the Q-Money system provides them with reporting so that they have transparency and visibility of the funds that they are spending.
Aside from rolling out relief support, the Gambia Red Cross Society is also providing flood disaster-affected households with humanitarian service interventions such as water, sanitation and hygiene, psychosocial support, protection, gender and inclusion, healthcare services and distribution of essential household items. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
As the COVID-19 vaccination campaign continues, officials of the Ministry of Health on Tuesday visited the Jara Soma District Hospital in Mansakonko administrative area to assess the progress of the campaign. Loli M. Camara was with the team and she files in this report.
At Soma District Hospital, we met the Public Health and Dex Officer, Mariama Gomez, who said that vaccination teams are patrolling the community and about 150 people are vaccinated every day.
Yeah, at least it's more effective than sitting at a place and waiting for them to come and take the vaccines. At least if you face them, you talk to them, then you have more chance of convincing them to take the vaccine.
Lamin Yabo, a public health officer at Jara Soma, shares his experience in conducting vaccination programs.
We have experiences where we get to compounds whereby you meet up with people who are not very convinced to take this vaccine. But because there is someone in the household who takes the vaccine, those people are able to convince them to explain the importance of the vaccine to them. In case if they insist also, it is our responsibility as health workers to sell the ideas to them, to sell the importance of immunization to them. Because most of our people are not as literate as we want them to. So their understanding of immunization is also limited.
Mbari C., the regional vaccination officer for LRR, states that more than 54% of the people in his region have been vaccinated and stressed the importance of immunization.
If you look at vaccination, it has been going on in the Gambia since 1979 with the establishment of the extended program on immunization. There are a lot of diseases that were in sub-Saharan Africa here that was a burden before, but now we hardly see those diseases. It's because of immunization that we were able to eradicate some, and we were able to eliminate some, and we were able to control some. So immunization is very, very, very important, and it's not a new thing.
The Ministry of Health is partnering with other institutions to help create more awareness in communities. Landing B. Sane, the chairman, Mansakonko Area Council, explains his institution's roles in the awareness campaign.
I remember when we launched this the vaccination here some time ago, it was kind of new, and not many people, even within the elite sector, would really want to do it. But with time, we had engaged each other at the level of the Technical Advisory Committee of the area, and at the level of our authority, that is the council, to talk to each other first, to convince each other to do the vaccination. And I can proudly tell you that my council has been very cooperative, and almost all of us have done the vaccination. And it is with great benefits, because I am a beneficiary of it. Now I go to some countries without going along with the test result, and I enjoy that. But again, the whole vaccine itself, from the information we got from the health stakeholders, it is very safe, and we use that information to talk to our people.
Health officials are hopeful that the house-to-house campaign will benefit our efforts to get at least 70% of the population vaccinated. They urge the public to come out and be vaccinated, as the vaccine is safe and effective. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
The Minister of Local Government and Lands and Religious Affairs has presided over the laying of the foundation stones for entrepreneurship and hospitality training centers at Farafenni and Mansakonko. This story by Don Williams is narrated by Churchill Balde.
The multipurpose center will serve as a one-step training center for Gambian youths to be trained in entrepreneurship and hospitality. Landing B. Sane, the chairperson of the Mansakonko Area Council, explains the purpose of the project.
Before the coming of the bridge, there used to be very serious or very meaningful economic activities at the ferry crossing then. So with the advent of the bridge, those who are engaged in those commercial activities, of course, automatically have to find other means of commercial engagement. So, and if in the absence of that, we expect that we need to come with innovative ideas to see how we address the situation in coping, providing a coping mechanism for the youth particularly and women that were busy along that way. And this project is basically based on that.
Mamadou Lamin Bojang, the chairman of Kerewan Area Council, expressed appreciation to the governor's office for providing the land.
The town of Farafenye is situated on the Senegambian Bridge, leading east frontier of Senegal, Casamance. This town has a great potential to entice business entities due to its location. I am grateful to Governor's Office for generously providing the land.
Lamin Seidikan, the governor of the North Bank region, briefed the gathering about the initiators and the purpose of the project.
This was initiated by GRIPA with the cooperation from Kerewan Area Council and Governor's Office to build this multi-purpose complex which will bring together young entrepreneurs, especially women and youths, to buy and sell their products. We all know young people play a supreme role in nation building. They are the engine of growth and development because they provide the labor force for production of goods and services.
The foundation stones were laid by the Minister of Local Government and Lands and Regional Affairs, Sheriff Abasanyang. He thanked the UNFPA country representative for her marvelous work towards the development of the Gambia.
The innovators of this program, particularly our darling, the UNFPA, the lady. She is an exceptional woman who has the interests of this country at heart, had the interests of women at heart, had the interests of children and youth at heart. Thank you so much for everything you do for this country.
At the completion of the multi-million-dollar projects, it is hoped youths, especially those in Mansakonko and Farafenye, will no longer move to the Combos in the quest to acquire such skills, but will make the best use of the opportunity to stay and learn these skills in their community. For QTV News, I am Churchill Balde.
From that report by Churchill Balde, we now go for a commercial break, and when we return, we'll still have some more local news stories. Do stay tuned.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. And that's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus, we innovate, others follow.
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is QTV News. We also welcome our listeners on Q Radio. The Managing Director of PURA has called for more collaboration between regulatory bodies for the greater good of the Gambia. Mr. Job was speaking at the validation of the PURA's draft strategic policy plan. Ansumane Sonyasi reports.
This national consultation with stakeholders will usher in PURA's latest policy framework that seeks to strengthen its governance and regulatory regime. Following its August 11th stakeholders consultation, PURA employed a consultant to draft this important document. Yusufa M. Job, Managing Director of PURA, says the document outlines the authority's commitment to delivering on its core functions and provides a roadmap for the implementation of its strategy. He also calls on regulatory bodies such as FSQA and GBOS to work closely together.
Bear in mind that this very strategic plan is a short to mid-term aspiration intended to turn the corner in striving to get to our objective. In the quest of this journey, we challenged ourselves to review our operation plans, our institutional work plans, and our own overall strategic plan. which developed over the years, and we reviewed practical solutions and challenges that we have encountered over the period.
Aliu Ngom, chairman of PIRA's board of directors, spoke highly of the draft document. He says it was developed using relevant and quality data and the invaluable input of stakeholders. He, however, enjoined them to critically look at the document before its validation.
The regulatory framework is governed by our national laws, subordinate instruments, policies, and procedures. It is a sincere belief, born out of experience, that these laws, policies, and procedures will enable the authority to identify and respond to high-risk compliance areas and prioritize resources in the spirit to continuously improve services.
The overall objective of developing this strategic document is to improve regulatory governance, enhance corporate governance, improve quality service framework, enhance infrastructure sharing mechanisms, and access to electricity and water services. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
Members of the ECOWAS Parliament Joint Committee, covering a range of sectors, including political affairs, peace and security, gender and women empowerment, amongst others, are in the Gambia for the localized meeting to discuss the challenges and the oversight role of the Parliament to the implementation of the community tests relating to peace, security, democracy and good governance. Aliu Cisse has the details.
Members of the ECOWAS Parliament Joint Committee will spend the next week in Banjul. There are a significant number of adopted community texts designed to maintain and promote peace and regional security, targeted at preventing, managing, and or settling conflicts in the region. Billy G. Tungara, head of the Gambia's delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament, welcomed his colleagues and said the Gambia is delighted to host the meeting.
It is a well-known fact that the Gambia is a country that has earned the reputation of peace and security with the ECOWAS community. It is therefore a good choice that this delocalized meeting to assess the mechanisms that can engender peace and security in our community is being held in the Gambia.
Deputizing for the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Guinea-Bissau's Adja Sato Kamara Pinto, the fourth Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, observed that the region is still suffering from political instability, conflict, terrorism, banditry, and criminality. She adds that it is within Parliament's competencies to exercise oversight in ensuring community texts are implemented effectively and work towards the harmonization of sectoral policies and legislations of member states. Delivering goodwill messages, Dr. Mamadou Tangara, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Siaka Sonko, Minister of Interior, said the Gambia, under the leadership of President Adama Barrow, continues to be committed to ECOWAS ideals to promote peace, security, and stability.
I'm pleased with the impressive results. Session after session, I can see that our plan of actions and strategies are beginning to chalk up successes. The government of the Gambia associates itself with all the decisions of this meeting and shares with you a great vision of the future for the progressive ECOWAS.
I want to extend sincere appreciation to ECOWAS for the support in ensuring peace, security and stability in our country following the change of government in December 2016. The government and people of this country are still grateful for the role the community played restoring the will and mandate of the people in consolidating the democratic gains since then.
Declaring the meeting open, Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta, Speaker of the Gambia's National Assembly, is hopeful of a positive outcome and urged the Joint Committee to deliberate openly for an effective implementation of the text for peace and stability of the region.
And the success of ECOWAS as a regional body in addressing issues of peace and security largely depend on the commitment of the member states. While it is on record that the regional experience yielded positive results, there is still the need for more committed and proactive interventions. peace and security is the bedrock on which all development efforts are anchored.
Amid an unprecedented spiraling instability and insecurity and destabilization factors, the domestication, harmonization, and implementation of regional texts are relevant to maintaining peace and stability. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Following the celebration of International Youth Day on the 12th of August, our regional correspondent Bakari Balde spoke to young people in the Lower River region about their aims and aspirations. His story is narrated by Churchill Balde.
This year's theme, Intergenerational Solidarity, creating a world for all ages, implies an inclusive society for rapid and sustainable development among young people from different walks of life globally. QTV spoke to youths in LRR who are preparing to make positive contributions to society, given the right support. Here is Abdullah Sise from Tonyataba village, a returnee from the so-called backway journey, also known as irregular migration, who now runs a poultry farm, a banana orchard, and animal fattening business. He explained what inspired him to get into such businesses and has some words of advice for other youths.
When I leave this country and back on the backway journey, I experienced a lot. Especially in Algeria, I was working with one Arab man. He was having a farm, so I experienced a lot there. So when I came back, I decided, look, before I go out to sit at Kombo, where I was born, so I think I have to go back to my final destination. You know, that's where I was, where my parents were born. That's here, LRR. So I came here. I talked to my dad, and he talked to his people. Then we requested a land. Then I started doing something in venture into agribusiness. The advice that I will give the youth, let the youths, not only returnees, all the entire youths of the Gambia. Gambia is the only country where you will wake up early in the morning, 7 o'clock up to 2 or 3 o'clock at night. We will be at the camp drinking attire. I only see it in the Gambia here. But let's also just try to be in something. Although you cannot just wake up one day, you dig a well, that the same day you fetch water there and you drink that water. Practically impossible.
Fatuba, a young entrepreneur who received catering training and material support from Gainyoro Skills Training Center in Soma, operates her own restaurant. She encourages young girls to be productive.
I always encourage them to never give up in life and also let them be educated, at the same time also look for a skill. Because in life, if you have skill, it seems like you don't lose anything.
Lamin Balo, another young entrepreneur from Soma, emphasized that he intends to further his education at the Gambia Technical Training Institution in solar installation and to go on to create jobs for others. Fatu A. Sonko, the Assistant Regional Youth Chairperson of LRR, said youths can be the catalyst for rapid socio-economic growth, and therefore the Youth Office and relevant stakeholders are working hard to empower youths in LRR. She outlined the impact of the regional library.
Good impact. Because this past grade 9s and grade 12s mostly come here to read. Some take books, the books that is related to their various subjects. They use it to read both morning, afternoon, and night. So not even the students, even the civil servants use this library, because as you can see, the place is very conducive. There is not too much of noise here, no distraction. So they mostly come here, do their studies and researches. So I'm encouraging all youths in LRR to come to the library. It's not payment, it's free, to come and read in order to pass their various subjects.
To achieve this year's theme, young people should be given the platforms to explore their potential to better serve their community and their country. For QTV News, I am Churchill Balde.
Now, before we end this news bulletin, let's have a look at our top stories. The Gambia Red Cross Society on Wednesday began rolling out humanitarian aid through Q-Money to 606 households of victims of the recent flash floods. As the COVID-19 vaccination campaign continues, officials of the Ministry of Health on Tuesday visited the Jarasoma District Hospital in the Mansakonko administrative area to assess the progress of the campaign. The Minister of Local Government, Lands and Religious Affairs has presided over the laying of the foundation stones for an entrepreneurship and hospitality training centers at Farafenni and Mansakonko. The Managing Director of PURA has called for more collaboration between regulatory bodies for the greater good of the Gambia during the validation of PURA's draft strategic policy plan. Members of the ECOWAS Parliament Joint Committee are in the Gambia for a delocalized meeting to discuss the challenges and the oversight role of the Parliament to the implementation of a range of issues. Well, that's it for this edition of QTV News, but don't forget to join us at 10 for another bulletin.